Welcome back, everyone. Today we're unpacking a truly fascinating concept, how the simple bedtime stories we tell our kids are actually directly shaping the changemakers of tomorrow. We're going to connect the dots between childhood character building and some of the most phenomenal real-world impacts being made by young people today. Let's dive right into this explainer. Are classic fables really enough for the complex world our children are growing into? It's a tough question, right? I mean, we all grew up with The Boy Who Cried Wolf or The Tortoise and the Hare. And yeah, they're timeless. But the source material we're looking at today makes a really compelling argument. Today's youth are facing completely modern challenges: digital landscapes, climate anxiety, totally new social dynamics, and honestly, these modern challenges absolutely require modern virtues. So, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, from storybooks to reality. Then, the HERO framework. 3. Radical empathy and kindness. 4. Demonstrating incredible resilience. 5. Curiosity changing the world. And finally, tomorrow's heroes today. Let's jump right into Section 1, from storybooks to reality. Modern morals really do matter. You know, research from places like the Greater Good Science Center at UC Berkeley suggests that getting lost in a narrative actually leads to real-world changes in empathy and emotional intelligence. And this perfectly illustrates the shift we're talking about here. Classic morals tell us that slow and steady wins the race. We've heard it a million times. But modern morals? They require adapting when the race is canceled altogether. Think about how much more applicable that is to a child whose plans are suddenly derailed or who faces a totally unexpected hurdle. It just highlights this factual, pressing need for adaptable, resilient thinking in our incredibly fast-paced world. Moving on to Section 2, the HERO framework. This is all about teaching adaptability. So how do we actually teach this adaptability? Well, this concept comes from Dreamcraft Tales sources, and it gives us a really clear lens to teach vital virtues through customized storytelling. H stands for hero, making your child a protagonist so the lesson becomes deeply personal to them. E is for empathy challenge, basically creating a relatable, modern problem for them to face. R is for resilient action, showing the hero using a core value to navigate that exact challenge. And finally, O is for outcome, that positive resolution that creates space for a gentle, open conversation. It's essentially a deliberate, step-by-step mechanism for character building. All right, Section 3, radical empathy and kindness. Let's take this theory into reality. 8. Just 8 years old. Think about that for a second. At an age where most of us were just figuring out how to tie our shoes, this next young individual was already making waves that literally rippled across the globe. This is the story of 8-year-old Mateo from Chicago. Instead of spending his birthday money on toys or himself, he actually gave it to a homeless woman selling candy. The moment was caught on video, and as you might guess, it went totally viral. But it didn't just stop at a heartwarming internet video. Mateo's simple, virtuous choice inspired people all over the world to pitch in, launching a massive community initiative to help those struggling with homelessness. I mean, this perfectly illustrates the powerful ripple effect of modern empathy. Just one small, kind action scaling up to a massive global impact. And we see the impact of empathy scale up into some serious innovation as kids grow. Take 17-year-old Tejvani Minosh, for example. She saw her grandfather nearly fall for a cyber scam, so she built Shield Seniors, an app specifically designed to protect older adults. Or 12-year-old Rebecca Young, who actually invented a solar-powered backpack and electric blanket to keep homeless people warm at night. And then there's 15-year-old Diva Uthkarsha. Her brother was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, so she founded Project Surya to support underprivileged kids facing the exact same condition. So the absolute crucial point here is that when empathy is combined with action, it drives incredibly smart, meaningful, and highly technical solutions to real societal problems. Which brings us to Section 4, demonstrating incredible resilience, transforming adversity. 14. That is the exact age of the extraordinarily brave hero in our next story. As reported in the Times of India, during a terrifying mass shooting at Bondi Beach, a 14-year-old girl noticed 2 younger children in extreme peril. Without even hesitating, she jumped into action, shielding the 2 innocent children with her own body, literally risking her own safety to save them. It is a breathtaking, completely sobering act of heroism, and it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that genuine superheroes absolutely do not need capes to show courage. But resilience also takes the form of long-term transformation. Take Amar Lal, who was once a child laborer rescued from a quarry. He channeled his resilience to gain an education and is now a lawyer fighting for the rights of hundreds against child exploitation.
Similarly, we have Kieran Piper, who faced severe bullying at age 11. He found his confidence through trampolining, and by 16, he wasn't just thriving, he became a coach mentoring other struggling kids. Both of these individuals demonstrated incredible resilience by not only surviving their own immense trauma, but completely turning it around to lift others up.
Let's look at Section 5, Curiosity Changing the World. Asking those curious questions. Let my generation inherit the wild, not just memories of it. Now, you might think that profound statement was made by a seasoned politician or some decades-long conservationist, right? Actually, it was said by Vihan Talyavikas, a 12-year-old boy who won the Wildlife Photographer of the Year award. It's such a poignant quote, and it perfectly bridges the gap between a child's natural curiosity about nature and the breathtaking reality of youth environmentalism today. And Vihan is in some truly incredible company. Francisco Vera-Manzanares founded the Guardians for Life movement at just 9 years old, eventually becoming a Goodwill ambassador. Lucia Pumples, also 9, organized forest cleanups through social media, personally collecting over 200 kilograms of trash. To put that in perspective, that's like hauling a grand piano made entirely of garbage. And then there's Lasipriya Kangujam, an 11-year-old from India who stood right at COP27 and directly confronted the UK climate minister regarding detained climate activists. These kids are energetically, fearlessly proving that age is absolutely no barrier to demanding serious, systemic environmental action. And that curiosity naturally scales into hardware and engineering too. Himesh Chatalavada created the Alpha Monitor, a wearable device to help caregivers monitor patients with dementia, all after seeing his own grandmother struggle. And Uday Bhatia, a Class 12 student, built Uday Electric. These are inverter bulbs that provide 8 to 10 hours of power backup for rural areas facing severe power cuts. It goes to show that a child's natural curiosity, simply asking, "Hey, how can I fix this?" directly leads to astonishing technological solutions for major societal problems. Finally, we arrive at Section 6, Tomorrow's Heroes Today. Let's tie it all back together. So remember the O in that HERO framework we discussed earlier? Outcome? An outcome is the positive resolution resulting from a virtuous action. And deliberately teaching virtues like empathy, resilience, and curiosity through narrative yields some truly incredible outcomes. The kids we featured in this explainer, Mateo, Tajasvi, the hero at Bondi Beach, Uday, they are the real-world manifestations of those positive outcomes. They absolutely prove that the theory works. So I'm going to leave you with this final, provocative thought. What stories will you tell today to shape the heroes of tomorrow? Every single narrative we share, every virtue we empower in the next generation, has the potential to spark a global initiative, a life-saving invention, or a profound act of courage. Foster kindness, foster resilience, foster curiosity. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer. Keep learning, keep focusing, and I will catch you next time.